Welcome to the section about Firebase. The goal of this video is to configure our application to connect to Firebase as the app's backend. In this video, we will navigate to the Firebase console to get what we need to set up our app. We will then set up our app configuration to connect to Firebase. And lastly, we will discuss the Firebase documents and the Firestore API. Let's start by getting the connection configuration Firebase provides. So in the Firebase console, in the app you've created, select the gear icon. Then after that, select the project settings option. We will then select the web configuration and copy the following. Now at this point, let's head over to Terminal and install the Firebase package. The Firebase installation is very simple. All we need to do in our app's project directory is type in npm install firebase -- save. Great, now that we have Firebase installed, let's head over to our code and configure the connection to our Firebase from our app. On the root of our project, let's create a directory called services. Within our services directory, create a file called db.js. In that file, we import all of the Firebase SDK as import * from Firebase. Right under that, we'll then add the Firestore import. We are importing Firestore because we are using the Firestore as our database, and the Firestore import is not part of the main Firebase package. Now we'll make a call to firebase.initializeApp, and we'll pass in our config as an object. InitializeApp is part of the Firebase SDK, and what it does is create an instance of our application. It connects based off of the configuration we pass in. Now to wrap this up, I'll create a constant called db for database. And this will be equal to firebase.firestore. What is happening here is since we have an instance of our app, we are now able to make a connection to our storage service. Now to wrap up, we'll export db so our app can use this connection. So now let's discuss what Firestore is. One thing you may notice in the Firebase console for our database is the option to use a real-time database or the Cloud Firestore. The configuration we set up was for the Cloud Firestore, but as an option in the future, if you utilize Firebase as your backend, you have the option of using a real-time database. Both options are NoSQL databases, so the question is, what's the difference? Firebase defines the real-time database as the original database. Firebase states that it's an efficient, low-latency solution for mobile apps that requires sync states across the clients in real time. Now the Cloud Firestore that we are using is Firebase's new flagship database, especially for mobile app development. Firebase documentation states that the Firestore improves on the successes of the real-time database, but with a more new intuitive data model. Cloud Firestore also features richer and faster queries and scales better than the real-time database. Firebase recommends the use of Firestore due to its scaling capabilities, especially with data organization. Although our example is simple, I think it's a great experience to utilize the recommended tool. So now we've connected our app and set up our database connection, we are ready for the next step.